My name is Alina, and I'm 52 years old. What happened to me 3 years ago still feels like a surreal nightmare, something you only see in movies. I was kidnapped, and for 72 terrifying hours, I simply vanished. It all started on a completely ordinary evening. I was leaving the office a little later than usual. I remember walking through the parking lot, the evening air feeling cool. I was texting my daughter, just a quick message to let her know I was finally on my way home. And that's when a van screeched to a halt right beside me. It happened so fast. Before I could even register what was going on, someone lunged out and grabbed me from behind. I felt a cloth pressed hard over my mouth and nose with a strange, sweet smell, and then everything went black. The next thing I knew, I was waking up in a cold, dark room. A wave of panic washed over me as I realized my hands were tied tightly behind my back. My head was throbbing. The only light was a single dim bulb hanging from the ceiling, casting long, spooky shadows. The only sound was the constant, maddening drip, drip, drip of water somewhere in the darkness. I had absolutely no idea where I was or how I got there. I was completely and utterly terrified. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of it all. I could hear faint voices from another room, but they were speaking in a language I couldn't understand, which only made me feel more isolated and helpless. I tried my best to stay calm, to control my breathing, but my heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. The strange thing was, they never hurt me. They'd bring food and water, leaving it just within reach, but they never spoke to me. No questions, no demands, no explanation for why I was there. Just an unnerving, deafening silence. It was psychological torture. Time lost all meaning in that dark room. I tried to count the hours by the faint changes in light I thought I could see under the door, but I kept losing track. I couldn't sleep. I barely moved. I was frozen by fear. The only thing I could do was think about my family. Would I ever see them again? Would I ever get to hug my daughter? Those thoughts were the only things that kept a tiny flicker of hope alive inside me. On what I guessed was the third day, the atmosphere suddenly changed. I heard louder voices, and one man sounded particularly angry. There was shouting, and then a lot of movement. A short while later, they came into my room. They blindfolded me again, pulled me to my feet, and dragged me outside into the cold air. They pushed me into a vehicle, and we drove for what felt like an eternity. Then, just as suddenly as it all began, the vehicle stopped. They pulled me out and just left me on the side of a busy highway. Just like that. I sat there on the gravel shoulder for a long, long time, completely in shock, the blindfold still on. The sounds of cars rushing past were both terrifying and a sign that I was back in the world. Eventually, a kind truck driver saw me, pulled over, and helped me call the police. An investigation was launched, but no one ever found out who those people were or why they took me. The police had theories maybe it was a case of mistaken identity, or perhaps I accidentally stumbled into something much bigger. But we never got any answers. For a long time, I was haunted by the why. It drove me crazy. But eventually, I realized that searching for an answer I might never find was only holding me back. So I stopped asking why, and I started focusing on how to heal, how to move forward. Those 72 hours changed me forever. I don't take the simple things for granted anymore. The warmth of the sun on my skin, a hug from my daughter, the sound of my family laughing together, these are the things that truly matter. I'm much more aware of my surroundings now, more careful. But I'm not living in fear. I'm stronger. I survived something unimaginable. And if you're listening to my story today, I want you to remember two things. First, always be aware of what's going on around you. Your intuition is a powerful tool. And second, no matter how dark things get, never, ever give up hope. Thank you for listening to my story. Please stay safe out there.